Hey everyone, welcome to the video. It's a brand new day, brand new week, and we have, well, it's been a few weeks. We planted and now we got some stuff to show you guys. We haven't tilled yet, so the weeds are starting to come, but this is honestly the nicest, most weed-free garden we've ever had. I don't know why. We did spread lime on some of this, some high calcium lime. I don't know what that's got to do with it unless weeds like acid, so I am joined by my best friend. So anyway, she wants to show you guys what's in the gardens. So I'm going to follow along and we'll find out. Those are potatoes, I think.
First up, some potatoes that grew last year, left over from winter keeping. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11 rows.
So with these, I took the tractor and the little V-shaped plow and just plowed rows. And then when if you remember the video, I took a rake and just raked one side of the furrow into the furrow and covered the potatoes. So there's a row of dirt along each row. So I might wait a little while till they're taller and rake the other row of dirt over onto them.
Hill them up a little bit.
Yeah, hill them up nice. I don't want to till until I hill them because the dirt will all go away. Probably not, but mental block.
So if you're wondering, I really don't have any clue what kind of potatoes. Possibly some Yukon Golds that we planted last year. I think there was some new seed potatoes. And then we had leftovers from the year before. So some kind of white ones, possibly Cannabec or something like that. Sadly, I don't have any red ones. That would be great to have some red ones in here. But
that's too bad. So those Yukon Golds were the nasty yellow sweet tasting potatoes. Oh, I hated those. They have such a sweet maple syrupy ridiculous flavor that I can't eat.
They're good. I enjoy them, but yeah, there's
I like salty potatoes.
Flavor. So
yeah.
If you look very closely, some of the biggest stalks already have buds pushing out in them.
No way.
But I just checked and I don't see any bugs on them.
Yeah, no bugs.
So
that's really strange.
They're perfectly healthy and great looking right now. We'll just have to keep an eye out for bugs when they start blooming. Was that a bug?
No, that was like a seed or something.
Yeah, some flower blossom stuff.
What's this? Sweet peas?
We got 2 rows of Bolero sweet peas. Yeah, they're coming along really well. Some of them might still be popping through. I don't know.
And then there's 2 empty rows with nothing, so we can drive our tractor through here.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know why that's important, but
we could put the popcorn there if you decide you don't need a trail.
I haven't used it once, so time to let it go.
Yeah.
So why?
Anyway, these next 2 rows are beans. They're doing kind of poorly right here. I'm not sure.
There's a couple beans popping out.
I'm thinking it might have been a little bit too dry because the tree shades it a little bit.
Yeah, we're under the tree, basically.
So the day we planted, we had a rainstorm, and it seemed like it had just enough moisture to get things germinated, but for the past 3 weeks after that, there was hardly any rain until this last week. We had about 3 to 5 days of some showers.
And heat.
So now we're looking into heat, and maybe we'll see some more things popping up this coming week. If not, I might just replant that with something else right there. They're some kind of golden wax beans. I think they're yellow. So we'll see what they are.
Yep, I grew up on wax beans. We used to go out and eat them raw, but I never could eat them cooked or canned. They're nasty. So I made a decision that I can eat peppers, so why not eat peppers? There's no nutritional value in string beans anyway, so they're just calories. So, that's my opinion. If you actually know, maybe you know.
But the boys are doing good at eating veggies, so I'm hopeful that they'll eat some yellow beans. That'll be interesting to find out.
They'll grow up nice and thick.
So the next 3 rows here are onions. So the the set onions. They were little bulbs. And
Oh, yeah.
some of them are red and some of them are yellow, I believe.
And
No, not yellow. Is it yellow or white? I think they're yellow.
I don't remember.
So, I think the upper half of those 2 rows is red and the lower half is yellows, and then this whole solid row is yellow. I don't know if they got a name or not. Some of them are candy sweet onions sometimes. I think these were just marked yellow. So,
and then this whole area is gap.
it's empty for
That's what happens at the racetrack when you drive the slow car.
several more plantings of corn.
Yeah, okay.
So can we come down here first?
Why is there a row of rocks down there?
That's where the last row of corn is. And it's actually, if you want to walk up closer, there was an anthill there and Dwayne was trying to mark it off.
Oh, fighting the ants, eh?
There
Oh,
is
look
an
at them.
anthill.
They're everywhere. Yeah, this garden was a real ant hill. This area way down by the potatoes, that was all ants. Man, it was fun plowing it. Ants were running everywhere. So I guess they've come back and, you know, made a colony.
Might have to pour some hot water.
They didn't do any harm to any of our crops.
They didn't. We had potatoes
They
in
didn't.
there.
They didn't do a
The
thing.
potatoes had a little bit of, looked like they were eaten out, but I wasn't sure if it was the ants or not.
Probably just rotten. Yeah, I mean, how was our potato crop last year? Pretty good, wasn't it?
Yeah,
A little
we
bit
had a
small.
bumper crop, really, I would have said.
Quantity, not size.
We had like 5 banana boxes.
Yeah, they were just little
3/4 full.
knobbers, so.
No, some of them were really big, depending what soil you had. The
Oh,
black
yeah.
soil up there, where the potatoes are this year again, that was really, really, really nice soil and big potatoes.
Yeah, there's a picture of this property from back in the 60s or the 70s, I think. It's a long, long time because there's a lot of trees missing here that used to be here, but it's taken from the sky over up in that direction. So you can see the smokehouse, and I think there was another tree somewhere in here, but you can just barely see the outline of what might have been like a chicken coop or something roughly 5 times the size of the smokehouse sitting right about there. So there is a chance that that was a chicken yard someday, and all that soil is nice and black.
Yeah, it's definitely
So,
a different type.
well, or a pig pen. We don't really know. So, what do we got? 4 rows of corn, sweet corn,
Yeah, there's 4 here.
planted by a John Deere planter. So, you know, it's hit and miss on doubles, triples, and misses.
It was planted very deeply, and
Too deep.
it should be like twice as high by now, but it
yeah.
took like 3 weeks to come through. So
Oh, yeah.
it's been through now a week, 10 days or so.
Oh, yeah, another thing about the building, we dug out a whole row of bricks right here. It was like the yellow brick road or something. I don't know if they had like a...
It was the same width of that brick smokehouse back there, and all along the grass there's bricks. It was way out, about halfway out in the garden there, or quarter way.
somewhere out in here. So my plow would just skim over top the bricks, and then the tiller would bounce. We had the like a 30-horse John Deere compact with a 4 or 5 foot tiller, big heavy gear driven machine like a Woods or something, and yeah, it was hopping all around with the bricks and bricks coming through. So mostly it stayed on top, so we ended up picking all the bricks out in the end.
Digging them out by hand.
Not me, she did it. I was doing something else. It's easy to find other things to do when
Corn here
picking bricks.
didn't come up too well, so when I planted the second rows, there's 5 rows over this way.
Oh, 5 more rows?
Yeah, there's 5 rows over this way that
Oh,
I
okay.
planted a week ago.
Oh, and they're not up yet.
And then I replanted the outside row here,
So
just to make sure that we get a nice solid row out of it. This was the one that was worse with the skippers in it. So I'm hoping maybe with the new rain that we had the past week, we might get some that germinate.
dig a handful of dirt up once.
Later.
What's it like underneath?
Underneath the dirt.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, yeah, there's lots of moisture there.
yeah. Wayne, please stay out of the garden.
Well, you
there.
found a piece of our forerunner. steel balls.
Yeah, and then if you want to stand over here, Lamar, there's a nice row of sunflowers planted on the edge there.
Yep, planted by hand at very specific intervals. So they came up perfectly, just like.
There's a couple that might not have germinated because there was some very tiny seeds in there. So
Yep.
There's a couple skippers. I might have to.
Always start with quality seed.
Might have to move some or add some in.
Yeah, so that's this garden.
Out at the end there.
Yeah.
Out at the end there, that clump of green you see is some daylilies.
Yeah, some very molested daylilies. They've been raked over by the tiller and the plow and, you know, everyone else, including the mower probably, but.
Did you realize there's a stump in there?
No.
Yeah, there is.
Oh, okay.
There used to be a tree there. There's a big stump right there in the middle.
Whatever.
So,
how big?
Last year the garden wasn't in here, out quite to here, but.
Get your ants in there. They can eat it up.
Yeah, there's a stump.
All right. There's that. Shall we go around back?
And then maybe we want to talk about the clumps of trees and weeds that are here.
I don't know what this is.
There were flower beds. There's some bulbs in here. There's some lilies right there. This is lilies, daylilies. They're a pretty reddish orange color if I remember right. They're not just your daylilies you see in the ditches.
What's this?
Here's a couple different ones. Beans.
String beans?
Yeah, those beans are
really
big already.
They got nice leaves.
Yeah. There's something eating on them, so maybe I have to dust them with something or spray them. So this could get mown down, except I think this might be a walnut tree.
No, that's.
It's like walnut.
No, it's not. It's something else.
It looks like walnut.
Maybe it is. I don't think it is. There's tons of black walnuts around here, though.
They have those smooth.
Does it have that smell? That acidy smell?
It doesn't.
No, I think it's a sumac or something. But.
Well, we could probably mow that.
This looks like a red maple. So we're just going to let that guy grow.
And this bush is, they look like those Hawaiian flowers. I forget the name. They're nice and pink. Kind of like a hollyhock, but they're more full. So it's a very pretty bush when it does bloom. It didn't have it wasn't extra loaded with blooms last year, so not sure if it's going out pretty old or not.
Go in here and dig a handful of dirt up. Just anywhere. That is.
You forgot to mention there's horse manure in here.
Yeah, we put a pickup load of horse manure on. There was a video of that. So last year we did the same. We might have done it in the fall and then tilled it in or something. This year we did it in the spring.
It was in the spring as well.
Was it? Well, we moved here in the middle of the winter, so we just had to do it in the spring.
Yeah. We moved in here in the winter.
Middle of winter.
There was one more thing I wanted to mention.
What's that?
Oh, about when I dug the potatoes last year, it was the soil was so nice, even down at the other end. I dug them all by hand. It was just so fun. It was, it was moist, kind of like this now. It wasn't very thirsty and dry, so it was just perfect condition to just dig them out. The rows were from one end of the garden to the other. So
yeah, we did rows the other way last year. This year.
This way it'll be more fun to, it's not as daunting to pull weeds or, dig a row of potatoes. So I like it that way better.
Yeah, I do have a potato plow if we want to do that, but
these will be fun. They'll be easy to dig. This is the easiest digging soil that we have.
Oh, this is the best garden we've ever had by a long shot. And probably putting a little bit of limestone. It was 50 pounds on this garden and 50 pounds on the other one.
Yeah.
All right, let's go over to the other one. I don't remember the first time. I let it grow up in seed head so it could reseed itself some.
May 7th you mowed first time, and then last week you mowed again. 2 weeks later.
All right, so what's in the first row?
Have we showed this garden before?
Yeah, we did a little walk and talk. We went through and I pointed out some things and I didn't really know what was where and all that. So remember guys, this was a big pile of brush and tree limbs and chunks of tree trunk. So I came over and I cut up all the big firewood and stacked it up there on the hill, Marn Hill, where we had firewood last year. And then I went and burned it. I was going to burn a little section, and then once the fire got going, it burned itself kind of out in the middle, so I kept pushing it in, with a little diesel with no radiator, or no radiator fan, or no water pump. That's what it is, no water pump. And yeah, ended up basically with this. So when we had the tiller, we came in with the tiller and tilled all of this nice and tilled. But you got to remember, there's probably bushels of weed seeds in here, so you're gonna hear it crunch when we walk across the tarp, and that's all the weeds that are underneath still trapped. So we're pretty excited about this. One of our neighbors gave us this idea, and we were able to go on eBay and find the rows, a bunch of different sizes and thickness of tarp. And this is perforated, so all the rain will go right through and none of the weeds can get out. And so, of course, we choose to put up all our vine crops in here. So we're going to start, I don't know, let's find a corner and launch into this. So what do we got here?
This whole first row is 3 different kinds of cucumbers.
All right.
I think I did like 5 or 6 circles of each one.
It's going to be a pickle party.
And so this is the different kinds I've planted. The Market Moors are the long ones. The other one here is the white spine, it says. It's a pickler. Those are short and pretty fat ones. And then this one is a Wisconsin SMR. It's also a pickler. Those are, looks like they're not quite as bulby and maybe shorter. So those will be interesting. The only thing with these ones, I was hoping to get the most of these, and I think I planted them in the second row as well, 2 at each end. That way we're not, the rest of the row is watermelons, that way we're not mowing off our watermelon vines, because those are more sensitive to getting stepped on and crushed. So we got this, these 2 circles look pretty good, but when we walk down at the other end, you can see some of them are not coming up too well. So I'm not quite sure. I think those are my long ones. I might have to get another seed packet of those, or maybe replant some of them. That one looks like there's plenty in the hill. So these two are pickles, and then these are my watermelons. They're coming up. Those are pretty. Those came up very well. This looks already like a different variety. Those are coming up pretty good. I think these are a different variety now as well. I think I did 3 different varieties of watermelons. The one is a Dixie Queen. That's an heirloom kind of seed. This is a Sugar Baby. And then we have another Sugar Baby as well. So maybe those will be pretty similar. One is was it a non-GMO seed, and the other was just a regular generic one.
Yeah,
so,
I don't think there's GMO watermelons been invented yet.
So yeah, as you can see, the picklers over here, the cucumbers haven't been coming up too well.
There's a couple little sprouts.
That's not anything. I didn't dare dig too much because I thought maybe they just didn't germinate too well with the weather being the way it was.
Oh.
I'm kind of suspicious there's rodents in here, so.
Well, there was a big rodent in here called Mr. Woodchuck. Oh.
There's the hole that just got there.
Somebody's munching holes. I mean, we got chipmunks everywhere, so.
So I'm not sure if they were eating some off, because this one's not doing too well either.
Guess you could take a plastic jug and set it over top.
Yeah.
Take a clear gallon jug and cut the bottom out.
See, these
just
two
set
are
it on top.
as well, and they're just pretty much non-existent.
All right, what else is there?
No, you're not allowed on the tarp vine. So this next row, this whole row is pumpkins.
What about this row?
They're the jack-o'-lantern style pumpkins.
Got them?
Yeah, there's Connecticut Field is the name of them.
15 to 25 pounds. And they spread out 12 foot.
Yeah,
Spread
up to
out about 12
foot.
foot. Yeah, so you got to realize this stuff is stacked in here. This garden is going to be nothing but vines. And no weeds, so that's going to be exciting. Man, I can't wait. I might even start eating watermelons.
So this next row is all different kinds of summer squash. There's 2 yellow varieties and 1 green one.
Did we get spaghetti squash?
Yeah.
We did?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, boys.
You should get off the tarp, please.
Go, boys.
I gave you a spot over there.
Yep, go play in your little dirt pile there. Like normal boys. Yeah, here's another hole. There's one over here. So hopefully, you know, it don't cause us too much trouble. This property here has got tons of wildlife and rabbits, and got rid of a bunch of snakes, so hopefully won't get any more snake issues, but there's squirrels everywhere. One thing that I'm pretty excited about is I love hot pepper. Since I don't have a greatest sense of smell or taste, really, I went and got my crushed red pepper spice can and just shook some red peppers in there.
Yeah,
So
I'm not too hopeful for those.
They didn't even come up?
That little one over there might be one.
Now I'm crushed.
This one here might be. You know, see they got really spiky leaves?
What are those?
These are the banana peppers.
Oh, okay. Those are seeds too.
Yeah, those are seeds
Well,
as well. I'm thinking these might just need more moisture, so we'll
give them a little time. So
all
all this soil is pretty much all rotten wood and old roots and stuff of stuff that was growing in here. You could hear it crunchy, crunch, crunch driving through with the tiller. It was pretty fun.
So we skipped over some things. Did you talk about these pepper plants?
No, they just put in there this morning?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Those are bell peppers.
Those are bell peppers
Actually,
from my
they're red
mom?
ones if you leave them out long enough.
They'll turn red? All right.
They should.
I turn red too if I'm left out long enough.
Okay.
So this is a whole row of sunflowers, and these were seeded in a very manly fashion. So I don't even remember how I did it. I think I just threw them in there, raked them over. Now they're sunflowers, tons of them. So hopefully it'll be cool, a little bit privacy and whatever, because we don't have close neighbors.
So this is where I'd get some to transplant to fill up my row over in the other garden. We might have to fill in some spaces here and thin out where there's clumps there anyway. We'll give them another week or two and see how many more come up, and then we'll...
Yeah, I hope they do okay. We had sunflowers in Himrod, and I ended up having to put fence posts and try and tape them to I put in
Baler
posts
twine.
and rope, baler twine string, and then taped them to the things because they were falling over. That garden wasn't that great.
Yeah, that
Seemed like the
garden
soil,
or the variety.
it was clay, and the soil seemed exhausted and hard, and it was humongous. We had everything spread out all over the place and couldn't keep the weeds down because it was just too much work. I would have had a full-time job just out there working all the time, so...
Yeah, here's the zucchini, or the summer squash, zucchini, whatever. One is the yellow one here that's early crooked neck, it says. So those would be a little bit more, looks like they're kind of warty. And then there's a black beauty zucchini. Those are the regular dark green ones. And then the other one is a early prolific straight neck. So it just look like just like the dark green ones, but they're the yellow ones. So we'll see what grows.
Zucchini?
If anyone
Or
needs,
spaghetti squash?
no, the zucchinis. They're summer
Spaghetti.
squash. Called
Spaghetti?
summer squash. But
Yeah.
we call them zucchinis.
I have no idea what that is.
Yellow squash. Yeah.
You make your
They
little...
got all kinds of different names.
You make your dish with baked beans?
Yeah. Those
Oh,
are
okay.
zucchinis.
All right, good. Then I'm
So-
happy. I just need the baked beans
So
and the...
these came up way too well. I put way too many seed in. So if anybody needs extra summer squash, leave a comment and we'll try to, get them to you, or we'll have to thin them out, I guess. And next row here is the squash as well. Butternut squash and what's the other one? Spaghetti squash.
Spaghetti!
Yeah.
I love spaghetti squash.
So we have the heirloom spaghetti squash. We'll see if that grows for us. And I'm not sure which holes, but I made 2 of each, 2 circles of each, 2 hills. And this is the butternut, Waltham butternut squash. Also an heirloom seed, so I'm excited to try those. My sister gave me these seeds because I was talking to her about wanting to plant some butternuts or not the butternut. I was asking her about the spaghetti squash, and she said she won't have room in her garden this year. She won't have the time to mess with it, so she was happy to share her seeds, and we'll make sure that she gets some of the crop as well. And then she also had these interesting little ornamental small worded mix pungans, I guess they're gourds. Yeah, they're little ones.
Where are they?
So those are in the last row over there.
Okay.
Those are just coming up because I planted them about 12 days ago, 10 days ago or so. So they did well. They're coming up really nicely, as well as the squash over here. So yeah, I'm excited. I planted, 5 circles, 5 hills, and I tried to select all the different little shapes of seeds. So we'll see if we get, all of this variety at harvest time.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So basically we have 50% more garden with like 10% more work.
Yeah.
So, and most of the work was just spreading the stuff out and getting it down, because for some reason it seemed great to, pick a day where there was a strong south wind and
Storm was blowing up.
yep. Strong south wind, and the tarp went up high in the sky and started trying to sailplane us out of here, and we were trying to fight it down, and he was trying to play on it, and he got blown right up into the sky.
Yeah, that was quite a struggle, so I'd say the main work is over with now.
But we have all our overlaps facing the south.
No, I didn't.
So if the
Go right in the sky.
blew you right off the tarp, did it lift you off the ground?
Dragging
Yeah,
me
right.
there for a little bit.
It's pretty funny. We told him to stay off, and then the wind got up and sent him rolling. So, and there you go. So I made all the flaps face the south because of the west wind come down the valley, and then a couple days after we got the tarp in, it started blowing like crazy, and everything was pretty good. I came over. These are all the bricks from the brick walkway in the other garden, or foundation, or whatever it was. So I brought the wagon over here and started laying out the bricks. So we have the little wire pins. They're just a U-shaped hoop about 6 or 8 inches long. So that's what's holding staking our edges, seams down. They were left here. Somebody had a big bulk box of stuff in the garden shed, so worked out very well. We didn't know that we needed the stakes, and there they were. So I dug a little trench along the edge and then folded everything in. All the edges are folded under. Hopefully with enough dirt. Everything's laying down nice now, and once we get the vines on top, it should be pretty good. So we're hoping next year we can reuse this whole thing without doing anything new. I thought we could even cut little squares or circles out and just push it underneath the holes if we wanted to use different holes. It's all wood. It's all wood mass, just rotten wood, so it doesn't really need to be tilled. You could go in there with your little scoop and just scoop the stuff loose, and it'd be ready to go plant in again. So We're pretty excited about this because it's no weeds. Otherwise, the thing would be a hairy mess.
So, yeah. Most of the weeds, I believe, that are growing underneath there are actually thistles. Like this is a whole patch of thistles as well. So.
Oh yeah, thistles
That's
and
a fun idea to just squash thistles every time you walk across there.
it's fun to hear it crunch when you walk over it. Yeah, there's a big patch of burdocks and burn hazel and thistles. It's a nasty mess.
And then there's some of those imposter viney like
Wild
cucumber,
pickle?
wild cucumber plants there that are coming up. Do you want to go show the plant down there?
I don't even know where it's at.
It's spinning off pretty fast. It's growing like a real weed.
This guy here?
Yeah. Oh, there's a couple of them. This guy here. Those are wild cucumbers, and they actually grow a cucumber, and then that turns into a seed pod that dries up and blows around like a tumbleweed and scatters the seeds around. I don't believe they're edible at all. If they are, I think I googled it last year. I think they're not edible at all. I don't believe they're poisonous, but they do make seed pods.
What's the other one? Japanese
lanterns?
Yeah, Japanese lanterns. So we got the little flower bed behind the grill thing. I don't know what they're even called. What are they called? Big stone chimney. There's the lantern things, and then there was a bunch of lanterns in there. So supposedly you can maybe make tea with them if they're actually the real thing. So it seems like it's kind of hard to figure that out. So that is it for the garden tour, I think.
Should show these pretty ferns that are growing up.
Sarah's fascinated with the ferns. I thought they were just weeds and weed eated them last year. I was gonna just run in with the mower set really high and mow them all down, but this has got burn hazel in it too. All of that's burn hazel.
Yeah, wait, you could weed or some of it. There's also some raspberries.
Yeah, there's some raspberries here by this tree. Kind of let that be. It's also black walnut.
Yeah.
There's some, what's that stripy stuff down there?
There's a hosta in there. Those are pretty. Somebody made this into a nice garden one day, but I think it's fading out.
Yeah, this was must have been all nice at one point. Nice flower beds and stuff. So that is it, I think. Beautiful, beautiful place, and awesome, awesome blessing to be able to live here. Hopefully for a long time. All right. That's it, eh?
Yeah, that should wrap it up. We might add a couple plants to the rest of the pepper row at some point. But
yeah, we do have some space in the other garden too, so.
We still want to plant another planting of corn in a week or two.
And popcorn, maybe not.
Lamar's belly aching about some popcorn. We'll see.
Yeah, I want to eat popcorn this winter, so.
I didn't think we should plant it too closely to the rest of the corn.
Oh yeah.
There's some place that we could. There's some space in the garden there that we could. I just didn't think it was a good idea with cross-pollination and stuff.
So I thought about poking a row of holes in there and just putting them in there. Or even just along with the, what's it called? Sunflowers.
But the thing with that, I think you have to have 2 rows beside each other for good pollination. So it might not work out too well to just plant a single row.
So maybe next year we could pull the tarp back, fold the tarp back, and make rows of corn there or something. So I don't know what we'll do. Maybe nothing. I'm pretty busy all the time anyway, so. Well, that is it, folks. Thanks for watching. Give us a like. You have no idea how hard we work to get her out here.
I am camera shy, so if you like this video, leave a comment and I might just crawl out of my skin and outside of my comfort zone and make more videos.
It's her passion project, so.
Thanks
All right.
for watching.
That's it. We'll see you in the next one.